Hello, I'm Justin Charlton-Jones. I'm a business growth specialist and coach, and I want to talk to you about how to turn your vision into actionable quarterly priorities that your team can execute and follow through on. Most business owners don't struggle with vision. They struggle with execution. I've yet to meet a leadership team that lacks ideas, ambition, or long-term goals. What they usually lack is a strategic planning process that translates those big ideas into clear, focused priorities that their team can actually get done, week after week, quarter after quarter. If your strategic plan lives in a slide deck, it gets dusted off once a year, or feels disconnected from your day-to-day decisions, then this is for you. This is about how to build a strategic plan that doesn't just inspire you and your team, but actually gets executed as well. Most strategic plans fail for three reasons. First of all, there is not enough precision. Vision statements sound great, but they don't tell people what to do on Monday morning. The second reason is there are too many priorities. When everything is important, nothing is. Teams become overwhelmed and they default to business as usual. And the third reason is there's no execution rhythm. There's no cadence for tracking progress, solving obstacles, or holding people accountable. Execution usually doesn't fail because people don't care. It fails because the plan isn't designed to be executed. So I'm going to take you through 7 ways in which you can ensure that your strategy for your business becomes reality. So the first point is start with vision, but don't stop there. A compelling vision is essential. It answers questions like, where are we going? What does success look like in 3 to 5 years' time? Why does this matter? But vision alone is not a strategy. The real work begins when you translate the long-term direction into short-term, actionable priorities that align the entire organization. And the bridge between your vision and executing it is quarterly focus. So point 2 is about the power of quarterly strategic priorities. High-performing businesses don't try to do everything at once. They choose a small number of priorities and then execute them relentlessly. As a simple rule of thumb, have no more than 3 to 5 strategic priorities per quarter. Each priority is clearly linked to the long-term vision. Each priority has a defined outcome, an owner, and a deadline. Each has a clear plan of action, which details the individual tasks involved and the order and timing in which they need to be completed. Quarterly planning creates urgency without chaos. It's a long enough time period to make progress, but it's short enough for you and your team to maintain focus. Just ask yourself, if we executed only these 3 priorities exceptionally well this quarter, would the business be meaningfully better off? If the answer isn't a clear yes, then you're planning activity rather than strategy. The third point is turn your priorities into clear outcomes. One of the biggest execution killers is vague language. So for example, compare asking your team to improve customer experience versus increase customer retention from 82% to 88% by the end of the quarter. Clarity drives action. So every strategic priority should have a measurable outcome. What does success look like? It needs a single accountable owner, not a committee, and key milestones so that you can track progress during the quarter. If a team can't explain what success looks like in one sentence, then the execution will stall. The fourth point is align the team, not just the leadership. Strategic planning fails when it stays at the leadership level. Execution happens when teams understand why the priorities matter. Individuals can see how their work contributes to the overall goal, and decisions at every level align with the strategy. This requires communication and repetition. Great leaders don't just announce the plan once. They reinforce it in weekly meetings, one-to-ones, project discussions, performance conversations. Alignment isn't a one-off, it's an ongoing discipline. So the fifth point is build a rhythm of execution. Execution improves when strategy becomes part of your business's operating rhythm. This means having weekly check-ins on the progress of your priorities, monthly reviews to make sure that obstacles are removed and dealt with, quarterly resets to reassess, refocus, and go again. These aren't long meetings, they're focused conversations. What's on track? What's stuck? What decisions do we need to make now? Without this rhythm, even the best plan will drift. The sixth point is about creating accountability without micromanaging your team. Accountability isn't about control, it's about ownership. When priorities are clear and outcomes are defined, accountability becomes simple. Are we on track or not? If not, what's missing? What support or decision is required? The goal isn't to point the finger of blame, the goal is to maintain momentum. Your team will perform at their best when the expectations you set are clear and progress is visible. And the final point is that strategy is a living system, not a document. The most effective plans are flexible, strategic, and updated regularly. They evolve as markets change, opportunities emerge, data replaces assumptions. What doesn't change is the discipline of focusing on the few things that matter the most, executing consistently, and reviewing honestly. Strategy is something that you do. So a final thought. Strategic planning that gets executed isn't more complex, it's more disciplined. It's about having a clear vision. It's about having clear action plans with fewer priorities, shorter time frames, strong ownership, and measurable outcomes. When strategy becomes part of how your business operates, not a once-a-year exercise, execution stops being the problem and growth becomes the outcome. Thank you for listening.